Nick, thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure. I've always got time for you, Ty.
It's sunny outside. Do you feel sunny and optimistic about our education nation?
Always optimistic. I think optimism is going to be what's going to get us through all this. I saw a blue sky this morning, and that always inspires me, I must admit.
You've got a thing about blue sky.
I have got a thing about blue sky, actually. I mean, it's on the front page of the newspaper today, Ty, so that's not such a bad thing, is it? I mean, we did an event with Barclays Bank recently, Lem Sisse, Professor Robert Winston, Martin Ware, and I was looking for some inspiration for a creative route for that. And frankly, just sick and tired of this polarised thinking, this left versus right, left brain, left wing, right wing. I'm fed up with traditionalists hammering learning by rote down. And to be honest, you know, the progressives, you know, all running off to hide behind a tree every time anybody says boo. And I think there's got to be some middle ground in all this. And that's why we came up with blue sky thinking, you know, blue sky thinking, blue sky talking, but most importantly, blue sky doing, getting stuff done, walking the talk. We've all seen the TED Talks. We've got to get on and get some stuff done here for the sake of our kids.
People like talking, though.
They do like talking, and there's a lot of talk here at Wellington, and that's great. Ken Robinson was here last year, so Ken Robinson, you know, somebody who inspired us. I don't think everything he says is right. I don't know enough to know if everything what he says is right, but if he inspired me to give up my career and start a thing like STEAMco, to get communities to work with primary teachers, to inspire kids, to set them on their way, to sow that seed. I mean, Professor Guy Claxton, he says that we have to help our kids understand what they want to be good at and help them pursue that dream. Now, for me, that's a bit of a we can beat that out, no Sherlock type of statement, but it's so easily forgotten in education at the moment.
Why, though? Why is it easily forgotten?
Well, it's easily forgotten because people are doing as they're told. Teachers are doing as they're told, and they're being told to teach to the EBAC at the moment, particularly. Rory Bremner yesterday did a fantastic opener, and I actually managed to ask him a question saying, if you were Nicky Morgan, please defend the EBAC, because there's been a 5-fold increase in the way that people are dropping art subjects. My son is in a secondary school in London, in one of the best secondary schools, state secondary schools in London, apparently, Ofsted Outstanding. Their head of art and design has just gone to be replaced by the head of languages who's covering it. They're dust sheeting state-of-the-art DT equipment, CNC laser cutters, 3D printers. It's being mothballed, and they're going to do fashion DT. In a school that should be offering a broad and balanced curriculum. And it's crazy. And I was delighted 2 years ago to get my son into one of the best state education schools, you know, didn't pull any strings. He got in on his own merit, on art aptitude, and now they're not even offering art. Yes, this is very personal.
So you think we're losing our way as an education nation?
I think we are losing our way. Well, we're in danger of losing our way if we're not careful. I'm just a dad. I'm not an educational expert. I'm not a creativity expert. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of one, as The Guardian said, you know, talking quickly till people say yes. But, you know, what's been lovely coming back here. Last year we were here, we had a big theme area with Barclays. We called it Inspire a Nation. And we had a fantastic time inspiring, connecting, engaging. And what's been lovely to come back this year, on a lower key, we're working with the Barclays Life Skills people this year. What's been lovely is to bump into people who remember that and said that how that's informed their work or asked us to get involved in things. We had a big project last year in Sunderland with Dominic Wilcox where Dominic Wilcox worked with primary children. We ran an event to provide legacy for that. So STEAMco now, we've refined what we do as providing inspiration through big events like that, where we showcase amazing creativity, fantastic teaching and learning, and community connection, and providing resources so that those communities can go and run these STEAMco days using activity packs by Dominic Wilcox. I've been chatting to Mr. Switch here, who's an amazing DJ, working with the BBC team, talking to him about how we can use his DJ turntablism skills and the way he's scratching up and remixing classical music to inspire kids to think twice about music and culture. It's fascinating. I think Wellington College, the Festival of Education, has been fantastic because it brings the best people together, and it's all about connection. A lot of people say to us, STEM, STEAM, what's that all about? Well, we spell STEM with an A because art is what we call it when what we do might connect people. We're educating kids now for a connection economy, not an industrial economy, and it's all about connections and connecting. And for me, the Festival of Education is all about connections, and it's been great.
So you've got critiques of the present system, but are you optimistic about what's happening in the wider system?
Do you mean the wider system outside of education, or the
Generally across education.
across education? I mean, there's some great best practice happening. I was chatting to somebody earlier who was telling me about a free school that's been started in London based on some very sound educational principles, very robust international baccalaureate. The head teacher has a fantastic reputation in education and is now starting her own school. And I think that's one of the good things that came out of the free school system and the opportunities it gave people to try new models. Whether the government will look at that best practice and see, well, actually, for some children, a broad and balanced curriculum, or something that's a little bit more vocational. Dare I mention the V word within this conversation? Vocation is not a dirty word. You know, we have to give children the opportunities and the education that gives them the best opportunity to pursue that dream. It might be vocational, it might be academic.
But we've always seemed to split the two.
We have split the two. I mean, arts and science, I mean, we're back to that left brain, right brain thinking, and that's where STEAM is a very holistic mashup. It brings the left and the right and the art and the science together. So Peter Bazalgette, chairman of the Arts Council, did a talk for us in Sunderland, and he went on record saying, of course arts and science can mix. Nesta just 2 days ago published a report showing that some of the most successful companies in the world are those that demonstrably integrate art and science to drive innovation. You know,
Fusion. They called it fusion.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, you read it as well. So no, it's good work. I mean, Nesta are doing fantastic work to bring those disciplines together. They're doing fantastic work to connect education and business and the creative communities. And I think if I had a wish, it would be to see Nesta actually focus harder on the education sector, because we need that vision. We need that visionary outlook that people. I mean, Jeff Mulgan himself has done a fantastic piece of work called Universities, Useful or Useless. As YouTube is the channel for disseminating information, replacing lectures, what role do universities have in society? And last night I was at the Royal College of Art's degree show and talking to students there doing the IDE course in Industrial Design and Engineering, and talking to students who've done arts backgrounds coming into engineering students coming into arts, and come up with fantastic programs. And that's a collaboration between the Royal College of Art and the Imperial College. And they spoke at an event we did recently. So I think that's the future, collaboration.
So you mentioned your son's school. Why is this happening in schools? Is it just the pressure of EBAC, or is it a kind of sense that teachers don't feel equipped or to teach creativity, to have a dialogue, a discourse about creativity?
Well, the schools are measured on the framework that the government impose upon them, and EBAC is being driven very, very hard. I mean, Nick Gibbs stood up in Parliament recently and said that coding is key. I know it's a subject close to your heart. Coding is mandatory in all 4 key stages in British education, said Nick Gibb MP. He put the caveat in state-maintained schools. Why is there no coding in my son's secondary? Because it's an academy and they can opt out of coding. But they seem to think that they're preparing these children for these fantastic academic careers in education. Imperial College isn't going to want a student, however good their physics and science are, if they can't do coding and can't analyse a complex big data set to inform the development of an experiment. Coding isn't just programming Scratch to make cats animate around the screen. It's nearly every career at an academic level will require coding skills. And heaven forbid anybody try and teach a child computational theory and debugging skills at secondary or even higher education level. We need to get them in primary. We've got to get these kids early.
I love that event, by the way, at Barclays. I thought not only the view was spectacular, but also what was happening in the room. I thought you'd created and curated something really, really special. Is that what you'd like to see happening in schools?
Well, I'm glad you said that, Ty, because I got some criticism that night off a few people, especially when they saw the speaker. They, well, what have you got a chap from an advertising agency for? And what have you got a guy out of a pop band for? You know, teachers aren't interested in that. And I said, well, teachers aren't my audience. They're part of my audience. They're a quarter of my audience. My audience are teachers. They are business people who accept their role in society. They are creatives. All these people need to come together to help educate and inspire our children, particularly at primary, because primary teachers are flat out teaching kids to read, write and do maths. It takes a whole village to inspire a child.
As someone said.
As someone said, I think it was me, because I think they all said to raise a child. We twisted that and bastardised it to suit our own agenda, I'm afraid, but that's the name of the game. Copy, 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 as Mark Earl says.
Copy, 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 and then recopy.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time.
Mate, I appreciate it.